buy cheap, sell dear, and keep the costs down.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bernie Ecclestone.
As you grow up, I think, like now with, you know, I've got a younger son, and I worry about him, what's going to happen with him when he gets older. But I think people grow up exactly in the time where they're living. So you're used to these things. As far as I was concerned, I really didn't probably know what the war was about anyway. So you're there and you have to accept whatever it is. I couldn't see the future, really and truly. I think that's the answer.
You couldn't see the future in motor racing?
No, in me being a driver.
Oh, in you being a driver. Was that a blow to you, or were you quite pragmatic about realizing that was the case?
I don't know how it happened, but I thought it's better for somebody else to do the work. And I don't think it's the sort of thing you can say you deal with these things. Somebody's there, then they're gone, and that's how it is. You have to just get on with things. You wish it hadn't happened, but these things happen. I think the bottom is, I think I was born to be a used car dealer. And this has sort of followed me all my life. So, always the same principle. Because I was asked to do it by the teams. I think this is my used car dealer that came around. They thought probably I could do better deals than they could do. Teams used to get paid for participating in an event. And if the teams were looking for points to win the championship, the promoters decided they'd give them less money because they'd have to be there. So I thought that was a little bit unfair. We ought to sort of try and level it up a little bit and not make it dependent on what was necessary. And that's what happened. Obvious thing to do. The television used to be broadcast in each country by the national broadcaster. It was run by the EBU that controlled them all, which was really not that bright, because if there happened to be an Italian driver and we're in Italy, the Italian driver would get all the publicity and whatever. So I thought we ought to control this and make it a little bit more, you know, neutral. So we decided that's what I thought we ought to do. So we broke away from the EBU, formed our own broadcast unit, and carried on broadcasting. And I was told then by the EBU, which governed all the European countries, that they'd never ever broadcast what we produced. So I said, well, let's give it a try. And the people that were really, really, really anti was the BBC. And it's not strange, I suppose, but anyway, in the end, they were the first people to take the broadcast, and everybody followed the BBC. So, you know, when people make these silly threats about things, they have to be careful what they say. Yeah, more or less is true, yeah. It started off that Jean Marie got a bit excited and broke a pencil. So I said...
No, he didn't get excited, he got pissed off with you, Bernie. That's what he did.
No, we became very good friends as it happened. But no, I mean, it was the whole thing. It was in an evening meeting, and I turned the lights off and I said, I'm not frightened when it's dark either. That's when we started moving the pictures and everything. Anyway, he gave up and it was all very nice. We became good friends.
There we go. Who in the room tomorrow is going to do exactly that in a business meeting?
Problem is I probably couldn't reach some of the pictures, they were too high, but... It's not easy to answer that because depends what they would... I mean, people like... I was very close with Jochen Rindt and Nelson Piquet from Brazil. Those sort of people become family members. So we are... those that are still alive, I'm still super friendly with. Unfortunately, we lost a few good friends. I think you can't really say that. It's the situation is where they are, what team they're in, what chances they've got. I mean, there's lots of quite a talent about hidden at the moment that are not given the opportunity. You know, it's like really and truly like Miss World may not be the best in the world. It's the one that's come up to be voted, and it's the same with the drivers. Who has the opportunity? I would say the best guy we've had was Alan Prost.
Was Alan Prost. Why would you say that?
Because he drove the car alone. Like today, all these guys, I think if you took all the things away from them with all the information they get, you'd see a different sort of driver. He got in a car that the flag was waved because we didn't have lights those days. And he got on and raced until the flag for the finish. Didn't get any help about what the other guys were doing, what tyres they were using and whatever. Like today, there's a completely different type. The only guy that's the same sort of guy is Max Verstappen. He's a racer, and that's it. The others get so much information they don't have to think. I knew him very well. He was a realist, which is he didn't make stories and things. He just, firstly, he always believed the car was more important than the driver. He's probably right, as it happens. But and he was just good at everything. He was sort of, when he was in financial trouble, he would argue with people about wanted to buy one of the cars. He'd say they're not available for 3 years or something silly, and eventually get the money he wanted out of them. I would have liked to have had him as a partner in my used car dealer days. He was very... The good thing about Formula One at the moment, we now got some racing going on with different teams, which is good. McLaren have done a super job to come from where they were to where they are now. So I think the end of the year, these last races are going to be very good. I think probably there's one basic rule to follow. Buy cheap, sell dear, and keep the costs down.
You have been absolutely brilliant. I hope people have learnt a few things. I hope you've been entertained. He's not a man of many words, I think we've worked out, but his words count. So ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Bernie Ecclestone.